So welcome our viewers. With me here I have a great friend, our neighbors from Uganda. Sir, welcome. This is Jipe Wajibu Environmental TV. We deal major matters related to environment, and what you're doing is aligned to our one agenda. Yeah, we'll introduce yourself.
Thank you so much for hosting me on your TV. My name is Dr. Taddeo Rusoke, and I'm an associate professor at visiting level, that is at the Greatness University in Luton in London, and I'm also an adjunct professor of sustainable tourism and natural resource management at Al-Azhar Indonesia University, that is in Jakarta. So but I'm here representing the Wildlife Clubs of Uganda, and I'm serving as the executive director for the Wildlife Clubs of Uganda. So we do quite a lot of work as the Wildlife Clubs of Uganda.
Yes.
Wildlife Clubs of Uganda are a non-government organization in Uganda, over 49 years old, and we basically do what I can call conservation education and public awareness, working with different categories of people, both the learners in primary schools, in kindergarten, in secondary schools, in high schools, universities, and other tertiary institutions of learning. So we don't do this work alone. We do it actually with several partners, and one of them is this Elsamere where we are today. And we have also, like, we always organize this regional training as Wildlife Clubs of Uganda, Wildlife Clubs of Kenya, and Elsamere Center for Education and Sustainability. And the whole reason is why we do this regional environmental leadership and training workshop is to bring together the different environmental teachers, environmental educators, and all people interested in conservation to come and learn more about issues of environmental conservation. We learn success stories from our brothers and sisters from the Wildlife Clubs of Kenya, and they also learn from us what we are doing in Uganda. So this is a very practical training, which I should say that no one could ever afford to miss. And we are really privileged as Wildlife Clubs of Uganda to always participate. Now, briefly, how does one benefit maybe from being a member of a wildlife club, even Wildlife Clubs of Kenya and Wildlife Clubs of Uganda? One, we are a membership-based organization as Wildlife Clubs of Uganda. You purchase a card at 70 Kenyan shillings. You become a member. This card is valid for 1 year. So this card can also allow you access to protected areas, or what we can call national parks in Uganda, at the same amount of money. Then we have over 12,000 clubs currently in Uganda, and we reach out at least to an audience of more than 150,000 learners per year. So, unless if you have any maybe specific questions which you would like to ask.
Thank you. So I have a question. How does Wildlife Club of Uganda involve the community? And if so, what are some of the activities that you as the Wildlife Club of Uganda do together with the community to ensure the existence of maybe the Wildlife Club of Uganda?
Yes, thank you so much for that question. We are also having actually what we call community clubs. We have school clubs, we have community clubs, and even individuals can join individually as members. So what is happening, like, maybe let me speak to one of our partners, because we partner with many organizations also internationally. We have the United States Forest Service, Department of Agriculture, which has been supporting most of our community work, especially around Kibale National Park, that is in Western Uganda, and we have been implementing community projects under what we call youth in forest-based enterprises. What do we do here? We go and train the youth in ecotourism. These are working within communities. We train them on maybe species identification, plant identification, especially for areas which are managed by the communities. And I was calling this community-based natural resource management. Like around Kibale, there is a wetland called the God Sanctuary, whereby the communities organize themselves and they are protecting this wetland, where they are doing a lot of guiding to the visitors, both locally and internationally. So we get these people and we try to give them more knowledge We provide them with guidebooks, and also we are working with women in that particular town, Bugodi, and we are training these women on making of sustainable handcrafts using the local available raw materials, and we are doing this with the Rwenzori Sustainable Trade Center. Then we are also training women on how to add value on medicinal plants which they pick from the forest. But now, because of this, there is a lot of pressure which the communities are trying to put on the forest resources which are protected in Kebale National Park. So what we are doing, we're also trying to empower these communities to grow their own medicines or medicinal plants. After growing them, we are teaching them on how to add value on these particular plants so that they are able now to process and sell and also give these products a longer shelf life. And also you realize that as we continue to do environmental education involving the youth and all the other communities and even maybe other people who are not in formal school setting, we are passing on the environmental conservation knowledge. And at the end of the day, communities now have come up to conserve. Communities are getting involved in our programs, and you know, as we conserve, we are actually contributing directly to the issue of addressing climate change. So we are making people to become increasingly aware. Then also maybe the other thing we are doing with communities, we are doing a lot of upscaling and recycling of some of the waste, especially the plastic water bottles. Communities have been trained, especially through our regional coordinator for Entebbe, that is Julius Mwesije, on how to make seats from chairs, on how even to make flowers and other decorative items which they are using within their homes. So it is actually now the onus is on us to take on the environmental conservation gospel as much as possible and as far as wide as it can go, so that we create a better and sustainable society.
And if I may ask, what you as the director of Wildlife Club of Uganda, what motivates you to continue working together with the Wildlife Club of Uganda, maybe your colleagues?
Well, for me, I'm a conservationist, I can say by passion.
Wow.
So it is actually not work, this is service.
Yes.
Yeah, it is service, but of course facilitated service. So I won't say that maybe at one point I will lose the morale, no. So it is about service. You know, this is something we like, and this is something where we can make an impact. This is why we can make a contribution, and it is important, like I said, even when we are here, when we are training these people, when they go back, they will try to replicate whatever we have been training them in. So it is important for us, actually for you, for me, and everyone who is watching this environmental TV to take action, because we realize that the more we keep quiet about environmental harm, the chances increase that we are going to get or suffer adverse effects of, say, climate change. You remember, like I think this year, early March or May, around there, many Kenyans died out of as a result of flooding. So we realize that we need to continuously keep educating people so that we protect lives, we protect properties, we protect our environment, and of course, when we are long gone, we have left behind a sustainable planet for those who will come after us. Yes.
And maybe can you tell us the challenges maybe you face as the Wildlife Club of Uganda?
Yes, we have, of course, most of the challenges I can say will resolve around finances. We are a membership-based organization, so if we don't get members joining the clubs, meaning our main source of revenue, which is membership, we don't have the money. So that is the main challenge of resources. And of course, also we work with volunteers. We have very few staff at the secretariat, which is headquartered at Lugogo in Kampala. But most of our regional coordinators, they are volunteers. They are not paid. Then of course they would also need support in terms of mobility, maybe like bikes or transport means. So these are some of the challenges. They are not able maybe to reach out as much as possible, to create more impact because of sometimes mobility issue. But we try to close some of these gaps by trying to create grants to international partners. Like I said, we are grateful to the United States Forest Service, Department for Agriculture. They give us some resources. We go and do community projects to create some impact. So we are trying to close that by looking for donors. And of course, yes, we may not rely so much on donors, but at least when we get a project, it creates an impact in the community. We ensure that it must have the aspect of sustainability, so that even if the donor is not available, was no longer finding anymore, this project can stand on its own. So this is what we are trying to do. We are trying to look for resources, and now I'm calling upon to the public, those who are watching us, support. Support. You can support by joining the Wildlife Clubs of Uganda. You can directly contact us on our website. You can donate to the clubs, or you can support a community project. I know there are many people out there who have resources, and they are looking maybe for where to invest. Investing in climate change mitigation, investing in livelihoods, investing in all those sorts of integrated community development projects is really critical. And now that we are in Kenya, I think I would like to also highlight that it is important to bring communities on board in all aspects of conservation programming. Like you saw yesterday, we were at a Buru forest. And when we are at the Buru forest, you can see how the communities have really worked together through their community forest association with support of the Kenya Forest Service to restore a once degraded area. So conservation or conserving the environment is our concern, or it is everyone's concern. Let us take action for a better and sustainable planet.
Now, before we continue, I heard you said about you are collaborating together with the Wildlife Club of Kenya. What are some of the activities that maybe you are doing, and are there other projects that maybe are undergoing together?
Yes, currently we are not having a project which is undergoing. Maybe this activity, this training which we are conducting here, but we are working with the Wildlife Clubs of Kenya to promote, like I said, environmental conservation education and public awareness, and also our patrons from Uganda. Every time they are coming to Kenya, when they are bringing learners to Kenya, we get subsidized fees at the hostels for the Wildlife Clubs of Kenya. Dr. Margaret Otieno has been so supportive in that regard. So I would like to encourage our patrons from Uganda who always bring their learners to Kenya to make use of the Wildlife Clubs of Kenya facilities, because they get these services at a subsidized fee, which is important. And also educational materials. Sometimes we get educational materials from the Wildlife Clubs of Kenya. The Wildlife Clubs of Kenya has also connected us to Share Screen Africa, and also Leadership for Conservation in Africa, who are also providing with us some education materials, especially about the birds of prey. What we are trying to do with the Wildlife Clubs of Kenya, we are trying to revive and synergize our partnership, so that at the end of the day, we can even do like international projects. Like there is a proposal which we wrote, the one of building youth conservation champions with the Wildlife Clubs of Kenya and the African Wildlife Foundation. So this particular project has begun in Savo landscape, and very soon it will be coming to Uganda. So we are like trying also to come up with joint proposals with the Wildlife Clubs of Kenya to look for resources and try to empower the youth in some of these to get them involved in different conservation initiatives and activities.
And maybe the last words, what advice can you give the people? Maybe they don't know much about the conservation, about environment, and about wildlife.
Yes, thank you so much. The simple things we can do, of course, maybe even in our homes, we can try to conserve water. Don't leave the water running. You can recycle the water. You will be contributing maybe to, actually not even maybe, you will be reducing on the challenge of access to water. Then we can switch to energy saving lights, that is to save the energy. Then I would also encourage the public to plant and grow some trees. What do we mean? You don't plant and abandon. You plant and you look after these trees at least for 3 years. After 3 years, they are able to survive. So that's why we are saying we plant and grow trees. Then also you can have some green in your compound for the sake of maybe livelihoods, and at the same time conserving and coexisting. People can plant fruit trees. The birds will feed on these trees. You are contributing to protection of these bird species. So they are basic things we can do, and all of us, let us continue to spread the message of conservation. But there is really a lot what people can do. If you have your compound and it is all paved and it is quite big, you can even remove some of the pavers and put there some plants or green, because you know, like, these help us in sinking the carbon. As we all know, we the human beings or other animals, we breathe out. What do we breathe out?
Carbon dioxide.
We breathe out carbon dioxide.
Yes.
Now, this carbon dioxide is used by the plants to make their own food. But however, if there are no plants, or if there is no green material, green mantle, all this carbon escapes into the atmosphere and it depletes the ozone layer, and at the end of the day, that's why we are having global warming. So every tree you plant, it counts. We can switch to clean sources of energy. If you can afford maybe to buy gas,
Yes.
if you can afford maybe to make or construct biogas, that is also another option. If you can afford maybe to buy some solar for lighting, that is also very important. And maybe now also to call upon the government of Kenya, they can subsidize for the communities on all the items maybe which are being used in terms of renewable energy, like maybe subsidies on solar lights, subsidies on solar panels, subsidies on equipment which is used for constructing of biogas. Yes. Those are some of the things which I think the government can do for the communities, and if the communities take these up or take them on, they will be contributing towards a sustainable planet.
Sure.
Yes.
Thank you, Daktari, for coming on board to our channel. And we are all aligned here at Elsamere for one goal and for one purpose, knowing that we don't have planet B. And I was your host, Joseph. Let's keep conserving our environment. Thank you.